If you enjoyed Thanksgiving, you might be a white supremacist, according to at least one corporate-controlled media outlet. I'm Kristi Leigh, and that's coming up on today's Daily Brief. Plus, San Francisco wants permission to use killer robots. We're learning shocking new details about the Colorado shooting suspect's background, and information warfare is being exposed by Facebook. Starting today with MSNBC hating on Thanksgiving. Post-millennial Joy Reid calls for a day of mourning on Thanksgiving.
But it's also important to unpack the myth of Thanksgiving. It is a holiday riddled with historical inaccuracies, built on this myth that the indigenous welcomed their colonizers with open arms and ears of corn, a simplistic fairy tale interpretation of a 1621 encounter between indigenous tribes and English settlers that erases the genocide that followed.
She goes on to invoke aspects of the 1619 Project, an ongoing distorted journalistic retelling of the founding of the U.S.
We are a country founded on violence. Our birth was violent. We are a country that chooses violence over and over again.
What violence are you talking about, Joy Reid?
This is mostly a protest.
That's like 5-story tall building right there. That's completely engulfed.
Do you condemn all violence or just pick and choose what violence you have an issue with? San Francisco police are seeking permission to use its robots for deadly force. The police department is asking the city's board of supervisors for permission to deploy robots to kill suspects that law enforcement deems a sufficient threat, according to EngageGadget.com. The police force currently maintains a dozen fully functional remote-controlled robots. They're usually used for area inspections and bomb disposal. The author notes, have we learned nothing from RoboCop?
Future of law enforcement is here. RoboCop next.
City supervisors originally struck out the proposal, but then a chair of the Rules Committee said there could be scenarios where deployment of lethal force was the only option, according to RT. The entire board will vote on the policy next Tuesday. New details about the suspect in the Colorado shooting. Anderson Lee Aldrich is accused of killing 5 and injuring several more after opening fire at Club Q, an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs. Defense attorneys say Aldrich is non-binary. Now we're learning the suspect's father, a former MMA fighter and porn star, thought his son was already dead. Aaron Brink has struggled with a crystal meth addiction. In a confusing interview with a local outlet, CBS 8, Brink says he thought his son had committed suicide in 2016. He also praised his son for violent behavior as a child, according to Fox News. Brink did apologize to the shooting victims' families. Information warfare exposed by Meta, Facebook's parent company, confirms in its third quarter adversarial threat report that it uncovered a U.S. military-linked propaganda campaign. The Independent says the U.S. military is creating fake Facebook and Instagram accounts to try and trick people. The accounts in question were used to promote pro-U.S. stories and to air negative narratives about Russia and other countries. Meta's report confirms an earlier investigation by the Washington Post that there was a pro-U.S. online campaign with military ties. RT says the report reveals the Pentagon was forced to launch a sweeping audit of how it conducts clandestine information warfare. Meta says it has removed those accounts. Today's takeaways. MSNBC is pushing its own negative Thanksgiving narrative. San Francisco might deploy killer robots. It looks like the Colorado shooting suspect's motive might have more to do with his upbringing than his identity, and our own military has been exposed for pushing propaganda across social media. To learn more, be sure to go to AmericanFaith.com and subscribe to our daily newsletter. For American Faith, news you can trust, I'm Kristi Leigh.